I was her sponsor for 3 years, and she called me a stalker on live stream. My response was quiet. I cancelled every one of her accounts in 60 minutes. Without my house and money, her perfect life burned down like a cheap set. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button so you don't miss news stories. I was holding a $12,000 diamond ring in my pocket when my girlfriend of 3 years stood up, pointed a trembling finger at me, and screamed for the restaurant manager to call the police because she said she didn't know who I was. The entire rooftop lounge in Seattle went silent. The clinking of silverware stopped. Every pair of eyes turned toward me, the predator, while the woman I had spent the last 1,000 days supporting looked at me with a mask of pure, unadulterated terror. I'm 32 years old. My name is David. I'm a senior landscape architect, a guy who spends his days designing serene gardens and public parks. I like order. I like growth. I thought I was growing a life with Chloe. But that night, I realized I hadn't been a boyfriend. I had been a silent producer for a movie that was about to be cancelled. I met Chloe in the summer of 2023. At the time, she was 27 and working as a freelance brand consultant. In reality, she was an aspiring lifestyle influencer who had about 4,000 followers and a mountain of credit card debt. I didn't care about the money. I've always been stable. I drive a reliable SUV, I own a 3-bedroom house in the Queen Anne neighborhood, and I've worked hard to build a peaceful life. Chloe was the opposite of peaceful. She was vibrant, chaotic, and smelled like expensive vanilla and ambition. When we started dating, I was mesmerized by her energy. She'd take photos of her coffee for 20 minutes before drinking it, and I'd just laugh, thinking it was a quirky passion. 6 months in, she told me her landlord was increasing her rent, and she couldn't afford her studio space anymore. I did what I thought a supportive partner should do. I told her to move in. Save your money, Chloe, I said. Focus on your brand. I've got the mortgage covered. We'll just split the groceries. The splitting never happened. For 2.5 years, I became the invisible engine behind Chloe's aesthetic life. I paid for the high-speed fiber internet she needed for her uploads. I paid for the $4,000 camera she absolutely required to stay competitive. I paid for the flights to Tulum, the dinners at Michelin-starred restaurants, and even her health insurance. Whenever I brought up her contribution, she had a script ready. The algorithm is punishing me right now, Dave. Or, I'm just one viral reel away from a major sponsorship. I believed her. I loved her. I thought we were a team. Our 3-year anniversary was a Friday. I had planned everything. I'd booked a table at the most exclusive rooftop in the city. I had the ring. I was ready to ask her to be my wife. On the drive there, Chloe was different. She wasn't just on her phone, she was manic. Her thumbs were flying. She was typing so fast I could hear the rhythmic click-click-click of her nails on the screen. You okay, Chloe? You seem a little wired, I said, trying to reach for her hand. She flinched. She actually pulled her hand away like I was made of hot lead. Just work, David. God, can I have a second to breathe? I went cold. We hadn't argued in weeks. In fact, we just spent the previous Sunday morning in bed, drinking coffee and talking about what color we should paint the guest room. We got to the restaurant. We sat down. The view of the Space Needle was perfect. I was waiting for the right moment between the appetizers and the main course to give my speech. But Chloe didn't even look at the menu. She kept looking at the entrance of the restaurant, then back at her phone. Suddenly, her phone chimed. She looked at it, her face went pale, and then, in a split second, her expression shifted into something I will never forget. It was a look of calculated, theatrical desperation. She stood up so quickly her chair scraped the floor with a screech that set my teeth on edge. "Stop it!" she shouted. Her voice was shrill, echoing off the glass walls. I stared at her, frozen. "Chloe? What are you? I told you to leave me alone, David!" she screamed. She backed away, her hands shaking, playing to the crowd. "We broke up 6 months ago. Why are you following me? Why won't you let me go? The air left my lungs. I felt like I was underwater. Chloe, what are you talking about? We live together. We came here in the same car. Help! She cried out, looking at a nearby table of businessmen. I've blocked him, I've moved, but he just keeps showing up. He won't accept that it's over. Please, someone, just get him away from me. A manager and 2 security guards were on me in seconds. I didn't fight. I couldn't. I was in a state of total psychological shock. I looked at Chloe as they led me toward the elevator. She wasn't crying. Not really. She was looking at her phone, which she had propped up against a water carafe. She was recording. I spent the night in a hotel. I didn't sleep. I sat in a chair by the window and watched the rain. My brain was replaying the last 6 months on a loop. 6 months ago? We had gone to my sister's wedding 6 months ago. We had spent Christmas with my parents. I had the photos. I had the receipts. I had the text messages from that morning saying, I love you, see you tonight. She wasn't crazy. She was an architect. She was building a narrative. At 4 a.m., the clarity hit me. It was like a fever breaking. I realized that if she was going to play a character, I had to stop being the financier. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I didn't demand an explanation. Saturday morning, I went to my house. I knew she wouldn't be there. She'd likely stayed with a friend to recover from her trauma. I called a locksmith. Within 2 hours, every lock on my house was changed. Then I sat down at my laptop. Step 1. I logged into my cellular account. Chloe's phone was on my family plan. Deactivated. Step 2. I logged into the high-speed internet portal. Account closed. Step 3. I called my insurance agent. Chloe was a secondary driver on my SUV. Removed. Step 4. I went to the bank. We had a household account I'd funded with $5,000 every month for us. She had spent $4,200 of it in the last 3 days on clothing and a deposit for a storage unit I didn't know about. I closed it and transferred the remaining $800 to my private savings. Step 5. I canceled the Adobe Creative Cloud subscription, the Netflix, the Spotify, and most importantly, the $300 a month growth and analytics suite she used for her Instagram. By noon, I was a ghost. And she was a girl with a very expensive lifestyle and 0 ways to pay for it. I spent the rest of the weekend packing her things. I didn't throw them out. I'm not that guy. I packed them neatly into boxes. I hired a local moving company to take them to a climate-controlled storage unit. I paid for 1 month. I sent one single email to her business address. Your things are at the North Star Storage on 4th, Unit 402. The code is your birthday. I've paid for 30 days. After that, it's on you. Do not come to the house. Do not contact me. I have the footage from the restaurant and our entire text history. If you mention my name on your platform again, my lawyer will have a cease and desist on your desk by Monday morning. Enjoy your new life. Then I blocked her. Everywhere. 2 weeks later, I was at a hardware store picking up supplies for a new project when I saw a familiar face. It was Marcus, Chloe's younger brother. Marcus was a good kid, 22, a bit naive, but honest. He looked like he hadn't slept in a week. He saw me and looked like he wanted to bolt, but then he sighed and walked over. Dave, he said, his voice cracking. Man, I am so sorry. You don't have anything to be sorry for, Marcus, I said. You weren't at the dinner. No, but I heard, he said. He leaned against a rack of lumber. I didn't believe her, Dave. Not for a second. I told my parents she was lying, but you know how they are. They think she's this big success and you were just holding her back. Why did she do it, Marcus? I just need to know why. Marcus looked around to make sure no one was listening. She's been seeing this guy, Julian. He's some creative director from LA. Met him at a tech mixer 4 months ago. He's got the vibe she wants. But Julian only dates independent, successful women. He told her he didn't want any drama with a long-term boyfriend. I felt a bitter laugh bubble up in my chest. So she couldn't just break up with me? If she just broke up with you, she'd be the girl who cheated on the guy who paid for her life, Marcus said, looking disgusted. Her followers would hate that. Her brand is about empowerment. So she had to make you the villain. She told Julian, and her followers, that you were this obsessed stalker she'd been trying to shake for months. That dinner? That was her grand finale. She thought if she did it publicly, you'd be too ashamed to fight back and she'd get a massive wave of sympathy followers. And did she? I asked. Marcus shook his head. For about 3 days. She posted the video. People were supportive. But then, the bills came due, Dave. She tried to move in with Julian. He told her he wasn't ready for that kind of commitment when he found out she didn't actually have any money. Then her phone got shut off. Then her Instagram suite got cancelled and she lost her analytics. She's a mess, Dave. She's living on my parents' couch in Tacoma now. That was 4 months ago. I didn't sue her. I didn't post a response video. I didn't need to. The most devastating thing you can do to a person who uses you for your resources is to simply remove the resources. Without my house as a backdrop, her luxury lifestyle content looked cheap. Without my credit card, she couldn't afford the professional lighting and the aesthetic clothes. Without the internet I paid for, she couldn't even upload consistently. The Julian guy? He blocked her the moment she asked him for help with her car payment. As for me, I didn't just survive, I thrived. The $5,000 a month I was spending on Chloe's dream started staying in my bank account. I used some of it to take a solo trip to Japan to study Zen garden architecture. When I came back, I was refreshed, focused, and sharper than ever. In November, my firm announced a major expansion. My boss called me into his office and offered me the director of design position. It came with a 20% raise and a corner office. You've been different lately, David, he told me. More grounded. More decisive. It's like you dropped 100 pounds of dead weight. I just smiled. Something like that, I said. A week ago, I got a notification on LinkedIn. It's the only place I hadn't blocked her because I forgot she even had an account there. It was a message from Chloe. David. I'm so sorry. I was under so much pressure to keep up appearances. Julian manipulated me. I realize now that you were the only one who ever truly supported me. Can we just grab a coffee? I have so much to tell you. I miss my best friend. I looked at the message for a long time. I thought about the $12,000 ring, which I had returned for a full refund. I thought about the look of fear she practiced in the mirror before that dinner. I thought about the man she tried to destroy just to satisfy an algorithm. I didn't feel angry anymore. I just felt nothing. I didn't reply. I simply clicked the block button on LinkedIn, closed my laptop, and went back to my drawings. I'm currently dating a woman named Sarah. She's an ER nurse. The first time we went out, I tried to pay for dinner, and she almost got into an argument with me because she wanted to go halves. She doesn't have an Instagram. She doesn't take photos of her food. And when she looks at me, I know she's seeing me, not a producer, not a bank account, and certainly not a villain for her next post. Some people will use your heart as a stepping stone to a life they haven't earned. But the thing about stepping stones is, once they've moved past you, you're still solid ground. And they're just drifting in the water, looking for the next thing to keep them afloat. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button so you don't miss out on new interesting stories.